Pollard your best negotiator with Zeke?
Who?
Pollard.
Zeke who?
He's got you on camera.
Yeah, okay, so that was Saturday night. Jerry Jones saying tongue-in-cheek, Zeke who? But Zeke was not one of the people laughing at that quip. In fact, Zeke's agent, Rocky Arsenault, said that Zeke thought that the comment was, quote-unquote, disrespectful. Jerry responded to that last night.
I've earned the right with Zeke to joke. Period.
Right.
I've earned that.
So, have you guys had any conversations since then at all?
No.
Okay.
But let me be real clear about it. I've earned that right to joke.
Yeah, there was a juxtaposition there between Jerry joking face and Jerry I own the franchise face, which we just saw there. Ian Rappaport back with us right now. Ian, how is the relationship between the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott right now?
Well, anytime you have a disagreement over business, Scott, it's not in a great place, but certainly it has never really been personal. And that's why this was at least something that was noteworthy. Yes, Jerry Jones made a joke in front of cameras. Everyone knew it was a joke. Ezekiel Elliott and his camp didn't love it. They didn't strike back with fury, I would say, but certainly they didn't love it. And really what this is probably going to end up being is just a blip on the radar. It was pretty clear from Elliott's camp that they weren't thrilled. Jerry Jones clearly believes that he is allowed to make jokes, especially what he has been through with Ezekiel Elliott standing behind him for all sorts of things over the past couple of years. This is not going to be a big deal, but at the least, it was the first time we've seen a little bite from either side in the Elliott negotiations.
Okay, meanwhile, the Cowboys, that last Jerry Jones soundbite was at the end of a news conference announcing Jalen Smith, star linebacker's contract extension yesterday. That Smith contract was a fairly big one. So financially, where do they stand with the Dak Prescott and the Amari Cooper negotiations, which are ongoing?
Yeah, well, as far as the Dak Prescott negotiations, they are ongoing, but the Jalen Smith deal doesn't mean that there's no deal for Dak. It doesn't mean there's no deal for Zeke. It doesn't necessarily mean there's no deal for Amari Cooper, although my understanding throughout the entire Cooper situation is that he is more than willing to wait, and at this point, certainly the expectation is that Amari Cooper probably gets a deal next offseason rather than right now. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are trying to get Dak Prescott done. They're trying to get Ezekiel Elliott done. That probably is the more likely of the scenario, Scott, where it's Elliott and it's Dak and Jalen Smith as the three who end up getting deals. But this deal didn't mean that those others are not happening.
Clock's ticking. Still a couple weeks to go before the season opener, that big game against the New York Giants. And speaking of that, Ian is coming back soon with a note on the Giants quarterback situation that I'm sure many of you will want to hear. Thank you, Ian. Take a look at some latest headlines right now. In Miami, the Dolphins signed wide receiver Jakeem Grant to a 4-year contract extension. It's worth around $24 million. In 3 seasons, Grant has 4 receiving touchdowns, but he has 3 additional touchdowns as a return man. Seahawks rookie wide receiver DK Metcalf had knee surgery yesterday. However, Pete Carroll called it minimal, the surgery minimal. Carroll said that they're not concerned about how long Metcalf might be out. He kept the possibility open that Metcalf could even be ready for the regular season opener. In Arizona, the Cardinals have released wide receiver Kevin White. You'll remember White 5 years ago was a top 10 pick in the draft. He was 7th overall to the Bears back in the day, but now he is a man without a team. White caught just 4 passes in 9 games for Chicago a season ago. And the Colts and the Bears have been competing at joint practices this week, but the starters for these two teams are not going to be competing head-to-head on the field this weekend. Both Frank Reich and Matt Nagy talked to each other and have mutually decided to sit their starters this weekend.
We have a very special guest right after the break. Steelers linebacker